What's up? This is Vince Carter. You're listening to the 3-Point Conversion. Check it out.
And you came off the bench, there was obviously a huge response. Oh, sorry. When you came off the bench, there was obviously a huge response from fans in the crowd. What did that feel like? We saw your huge smile. So let's start there.
I felt good just to know that SkyTown supports me. The fans got loud, and that ultimately just got me going. It gave me confidence. As soon as I came in, they gave me confidence. I started feeling it. I'm like, okay, the crowd's with you. Your team is with you. Let's go.
You've continued to put together these impressive offensive performances this season. Tonight, you led the team once again. What kind of confidence does a game like this give you moving forward, especially after the weekend that we've had?
These kind of games just make me kind of lock in on team stuff. We have a lot that we need to get better, and we have a lot that we need to work on. So I typically just have to focus on what I do when I come in, but at the same time, I got to find a way to get us all on the same page. Sometimes we have little slippage, and we can't do that. So my focus is not just on my play, but it's on our play as a team and a whole.
For both of you guys, just what was your perspective, and kind of just from where you were on the court, what did you see on that double tech on Angel?
She got ejected. She got 2 tags. She said something to the ref, and so whatever he felt like was the correct call is what he made. It's more about composure for us in our young years in the WNBA. So, gotta get to know refs and how they respond to things.
Yeah.
Also for both of you, sorry. For both of y'all, obviously clutch minutes and just kind of being able to close out games are going to be a challenge with a young team with kind of a new group. Just what do y'all feel is kind of that next hurdle of being able to get through some of these tighter games where you're able to keep it close into the final 5 and just can't quite get over that last hump?
I mean, you just understand who you're playing. Like, you got 2 MVPs. Sabrina is one of the best shooters in the world, blah, 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 everybody. You get the point. But, you can't melt down against them. Like, at the end of the day, we melted down in the 4th quarter. And anytime you're going to play a team like this, you can't win like that. So, it's composure, like I said before.
So Steven and then Chris.
Hey, my first question is going to be for Kennedy. We've been getting a lot of attention about the spark you've been bringing as a reserve. I think a lot of that attention is coming on the offensive side, but I think you've been doing a lot of intricate things on the defensive end. So can you just kind of speak to what you're implementing and everything that you're doing and how impactful it's been?
I just try to use my quickness. I know that a lot of guards will try to post me up, and what they don't understand, they underestimate my hops. So I have extremely good hops, and I have great IQ. I'm aware of the ball. So I'm really just trying to focus on most of my steals were on post-ups. If you guys didn't see it, them trying to post me up, lob the ball down. I'm just reading the defense and just trying to react and make plays so we can get in transition.
And then for Marina, in the middle quarters, it felt like you all really dictated, starting with the defense and then flowing into the offense. Can you speak to what you saw from the offensive side specifically in those middle quarters?
We had 15 assists, so we're not moving the ball.
How do you guys feel like your 3-point game needs to develop in order to keep up with, obviously, the 3-point game of the league?
Marina.
Whose 3-point game needs to develop?
As a team, collectively?
I'll answer that. We'll be fine. We just got to get our reps up in what we do in the execution of our offense, getting those open looks, catch and shoots that we are very, very good at. We have some incredible shooters on this team, and we'll get better every single game.
Kennedy, you've just kind of had a spark coming in off the bench throughout the season. How do you try and maintain that composure, especially coming off the bench and wanting to just continue to bring that energy in the spurts that you're in the game?
I just have small talks with Coach. She tells me to follow her lead. She tells me exactly what she needs from me, and I just try to go out there and do it. I don't try to force it. I just try to play within the system and just try to be aggressive any moment that I can.
Line with Zachary.
Marina, What does it say about this team to be able to compete against a team like the New York Liberty, obviously with with Stewie and Sabrina and Jonquel, but getting the win earlier in the season? What does it say about this group that you all are able to contend with teams like the Liberty?
I mean, we're not satisfied with that. Like, we should have won this game. So, I mean, I think we're pretty disappointed with that performance, to be honest. So, yeah, I mean, it's great. I'm not going to say that, actually. No, it's not great to be in the game with them. Like, we should have won. So,
Players. Start questions for Coach Nancy, second row, and then Andy, first row.
What was your view of the technicals, I guess, and the injection? And did anybody tell you what the reasoning for it was?
I tried to get an explanation. I did not. I don't know to this moment what has happened.
Camilla's obviously back in the rotation. We talked about that pregame, but tonight we saw Bree Turner and Michaela both, and Kaiser both finished with DMPs. So I'm just curious how you're continuing to work at your rotation and find that right balance.
We'll keep working at it. It's what we're here to do every day, is find out what it's going to look like, and we'll keep working. Camilla's doing great. Camilla's doing an outstanding job, making sure she gets on the floor and doing her job.
But just to clarify, there was no injury to Bree or Kaiser or Michaela that contributed to them not playing?
We're doing what we need to do to put people on the floor at the particular times that we do with the matchups that we have out there. That's what we're trying to do.
Hey, Coach, what did you see from your defense in the middle quarters that was impactful in you all coming back from that?
That's kind of, I can't really hear exactly. I don't want to miss your question. I'm sorry.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, I was just asking, what did you see in the middle quarters from your defense that allowed for you all to flip the deficit and come back in the game?
Yeah, there was a level of intensity that brought us back when we were down 18. We were doing all the little things correctly. If you saw it, the first quarter, they had like 6 threes. And then in the second quarter, they only had 1. So we started to really defend and doing exactly what we asked in the scouting report, the details of it all. They're great from behind the arc. They made an incredible effort to put the ball on the floor tonight and get to the rim. So we have to be better at keeping the ball in front of us and then guarding the arc. So what does that say? Be able to do both, contest the shot and be able to defend off the bounce.
Crispy and then Julia.
Coach, that last possession, Liberty had no shot clock, but Sabrina got that 3 off at the end. Was there anything that you saw on that? Just kind of a iffy kind of a play?
Well, Commissioner's Cup game, so it's all about points. So I'm sure that's what that was.
Thank you.
Julia.
I'm curious what your perspective is on what Marina said just about kind of end of game composure, feeling like they melted down a little bit. How do you, especially with a group this young, just kind of how do you approach that and try to start building that end of game composure?
Yeah, when you're working with a young group, we always talk about the process of winning. These are things that you'll go back and take a look at of how composed were we? How composed were we? What did we do down the stretch to execute offensively? What did we do to go back and get back defensively to get stops? You'll go back and take a look at these. You continue to grow, but with a young group, we have to continue to work on these things. We have to point those things out. We have to have them understand that details are valuable, very important, and that every bit of the scouting report we have to follow. And you have to do that for 40 minutes. This is a great basketball team. This is a team who's in the championship game. So they're going to continue to build. They're going to continue to get better. So we have to be about every detail of the game and be darn near flawless at what we do and stay composed.
And then with Kennedy, with how well she's doing, what do you like about bringing her off the bench? And have you ever toyed with the idea of mixing her into that starting group?
She's the energy. You got to have energy coming off that bench. And the one thing about Kenny that I love so much is she accepts her role. She accepts her role. She accepts her role well. And she's just trying to follow that lead and trying to do it the best way that she possibly can. And coming off the bench, she is a high energy player offensively. And I'm thankful that people are starting to recognize how good she is defensively, being so quick, very difficult to kind of post up because she's one who can't touch me, can't post me kind of a player. But we're pretty satisfied where she is and what she's accomplishing coming off the bench right now. Thank you. Thank you, Julie.
To kind of follow up on Julia's question, especially on what Kennedy said about the conversations that you and her have, what are some of those conversations, if you care to share, or what are some of the messages that you try to get across to her so she can maintain that consistency coming off the
It's
bench?
constant conversation, with every player, with every one of them. It's constant conversation because these are the things that you're going to go through, your bumps, your bruises, and you want to know how they're responding to the bumps and bruises. Because tonight we felt like we could have had this game. It was just certain things that we did not do. So the conversations are constant for me. I don't want them to think at any time that the conversations stop because there's a full season that we have to play. There's many things that we have to learn, many things we have to be better at. So it's constant conversation of what's asked of them, the expectations. And on those expectations, there are demands. There are demands on the expectations.
And then tonight, the actual turnover number is relatively low with 10, but it's the 17 points off the turnovers. What can you guys do to limit those points off of turnovers, especially when they're in transition?
The most important thing is being able to read the defense. What are they giving you? What is open? And finding that open player, allowing the ball to find the open player. But most importantly, the spacing that we have to have in order to execute offensively is valuable. It's an incredible piece to what you must do offensively, and that's spacing. And we have spacing. We're moving, ball moves, player movement, cutting, moving, ball is moving. We're a pretty good team.
Coach, this team has been going up to bat for each other over the last few days on and off the court. I was wondering for you, you've talked about what it means for this team to build that chemistry and just be the best versions of themselves on the court. But what's it been like to coach this unit that's had each other's backs the way they have?
It's the best thing, no matter what we go through, we're a tight-knit group. We have fun together. We love each other. But of course, inside of the battle that you have every single day, you're going to have battles. And how do you handle them? We handle them so well. I love this group. They have a great time together. We all have a great time together. And even in the tough times, we're going to still have a good time together. We're going to get back in the gym. We'll do what we have to do. Nothing's over. It's not over until you say it's over. And it's time for us to get back in the gym and fix it. We'll get back in and we will fix it. We will be better. You can count that.
Coach, what makes Angel so good at drawing fouls?
That's what she does. That's what she's been doing. Angel does a heck of a job of getting on the offensive glass, and getting the opportunity to get to the free throw line because she's aggressive to try to go score. Aggressive to kind of go score. And she's kind of upset with herself because of the layups being missed. All we say is keep going, do it again, do it again. That's all we want. Is continue to do what you do, and continue to make things happen. And she's doing it. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna be fine. Appreciate your question.
Hey, Coach, going back to the bench, I mean, obviously Kennedy with another great performance, but then you also had good performances from Lindsay and Isabel. Both of them had 6 points. Could you just describe just the play coming off the bench?
That's a great sign. That's a great sign for us because we're going to only be as good as what our bench can do, how productive that bench is. And we have a very, very, very good bench. We're pretty deep in every position. And for them to come off and have the game that they did, and then this type of atmosphere and against this type of team, we're going to build off of that. That's a positive for us to know that we have that coming off the bench, along with Kennedy, Lindsay, and Isabel finally getting in and feeling good about herself, still becoming comfortable. She's still becoming comfortable with her legs getting underneath her, and making sure that she's comfortable within the system that we run and where she's fitting in. She's still trying to find her fit. So we're pretty pleased where we are, and we'll get in there. We're going to make things even better.
Coach, when you talk about Kennedy and her skill set and what she brings to this team, who is someone that that she reminds you of that you either played with or against?
She reminds me a lot of Deanna Nolan and Michelle Edwards. If you want to go on the men's side, take a look at Kyrie Irving. This is who I see. But on the women's side, it's a whole lot of Deanna Nolan and Michelle Edwards in there. If you don't know those two, take a look. Take a look at those two right there. Hell of a basketball players. And she has a lot of that in there. But, she's Kennedy Carter. She's trying to make her own name. And she's doing a hell of a job of doing what I'm asking her to do, what this team needs of her, and just making her name known.
Coach, one of the positives that I see in the box score right now is I thought you were able to get good shots tonight. You know, we're talking 49 shots in the paint. It's just a matter of converting those. Is that still an encouraging sign for you? Do you want to kind of hope your team continues this pattern going forward?
You are so correct. This is a great sign for us. We are a team that can pound the ball inside. We'll make those shots. You know, we will make these shots. And when you take a look at that, that says a lot about what we can be, who we can become. And all the shots that we got is right underneath the bucket. A lot of offensive rebounds and putbacks and great passes inside. And we just didn't make them. We didn't make them. And we're okay. We're okay. We will make those. We will be better. We will be much better. Believe that.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Just looking ahead, you know, this is your first week where you've had 3 games in a week and it's a quick turnaround home, away, home. And after a game like this, what are some things that you can do in such a short time to make those adjustments for these next?
Yeah, a lot of this is really like you go back and you watch the film and how you can correct it, because a lot of times you want to get away from the floor and allow the mind to work. So we want the mind to work a little bit tomorrow, walk through a few little things from what the mind is seeing, and then we get on the road and we'll go from there. But heck, Washington is a great basketball team. We got to be ready, and we want to be ready with those little changes we need to make from tonight's game and carry it over into the next. Appreciate you all. Get home safe.